of the Internet has increased to over 4 billion users. In developed countries, the Internet is easily accessible and widely used. In non-democratic countries, with more restrictive governments, including those in West Africa, power is maintained by tightly controlling information. Law that punishes use of the Internet to spread dissatisfaction with the government carries fines of over $100,000, 15 years in jail, even threats of death. How do you express your opinions? How do you create change without access to the most powerful communication tool in today's digital world? Join us as we hear from Clemson University Professor of Computer Engineering and Network Security, Richard R. Brooks.
Just recently finished a State Department project from the Department of Human Rights and Labor looking at internet freedom in West Africa.
Approximately over 38% of the sub-Saharan African population live in countries whose press freedom is ranked as not free, and more than 61% live in countries ranked as partly free.
One of the things that I saw and was interested by is criminal botnets. These tools are developed and marketed online over the dark web. You can just sort of buy the infection tools. You can then pay different people to infect a certain number of machines. You can then steer them remotely over the internet and have your own online criminal enterprise. The way they've been designed, they're very difficult to track down and stop. And so the fact that our best law enforcement people are not able to track down and stop these things seemed to me to be a proof of concept that these ideas could be used to try and develop a online communications environment that could avoid detection and surveillance and censorship by the other parties.
The government uses firewall to block the DNS and IP addresses of offending news sites. Internet surveillance tools can block network sessions containing sensitive keywords, at times even instituting an internet blackout.
So we set up a small network that resembled this for our users. One of the basic things was we would give you a secure working environment, and if you were in Chad, it would then make a connection through a journalist or human rights activist who's in Senegal. The users could then provide connections for each other in such a way that would avoid their detection by the government.
The project has two components. One, developing secure messaging tools based on Dr. Brooks's research, tailored to local needs. And two, providing training for a West African user community.
They've developed their own activist community, which is called Africtivist.
In my own case, I'm a journalist, I'm an investigative journalist. I'm putting not only myself but everyone else at risk because, it's known in Nigeria that the government actually does a lot of internet and also communication surveillance on people.
Three of the groups that we're dealing with have managed to put in place peaceful democratic regime change. On the one hand, we're giving them tools to keep their information private and protect themselves. Also, the activist community is there to get their opinion out to the world, and they're actually doing training based on what we taught them, and currently they have some support from the Dutch Embassy in Senegal, and they have training that's planned for 36 countries in sub-Saharan Africa.
Learn more at the Internet Freedom in West Africa, Technical Support for Journalists and Democracy Advocates, a contributed article in the May 2018 communications of the ACM.